Ordinary streets, subways, and stores become stages for the bizarre and unexplained.
What's wrong? That's not normal.
All because of these people. Strange gestures, eerie movements, and unsettling moments. Brace yourself, because what these cameras caught is far from ordinary. While a group of people waited in line at Walmart to check out their groceries, one woman suddenly began acting strangely. She screamed in a loud, eerie voice and appeared to try ripping her sweater, moving in a way that didn't look natural. Shoppers around her stopped and stared, clearly unsettled by her behavior. No one could explain why she acted that way, leaving everyone in line questioning if it was just an outburst, or if something far stranger was influencing her actions at that moment. Tokyo street chaos. On the streets of Tokyo, a woman was spotted acting completely bizarre. She shoved her way through people walking by and even threatened to throw objects at them. Surprisingly, she didn't just target one person, but two, making everyone around stop and stare. Passers-by were left confused and concerned, unable to understand what had triggered such strange behavior. The scene turned an ordinary street into a tense and unsettling moment that no one could easily forget. Subway chair climber. A boy was seen at the subway climbing over empty seat, moving in a way that immediately caught everyone's attention. Shockingly, he even stepped onto a man sitting on one of the seat, ignoring the startled reactions of the passengers around him. The scene was brief, but it left an unsettling feeling. Something about his behavior didn't seem natural at all. Station anger eruption. At a busy train station, workers were cleaning as usual while a homeless man slept quietly on the side. When they reached the area where he was lying, he suddenly lost his temper. Without warning, he grabbed a nearby warning sign and threw it at them, startling everyone around. His sudden anger was completely unexpected, turning an ordinary cleaning scene into a tense and bizarre moment. Trolley bottle madness. Inside a Walmart, a man carrying a cart began acting like a giant. As he walked down an aisle, he picked up bottles of the same type and tossed them all into his trolley, making everyone around stop and stare. Just a few moments later, another man appeared, throwing every bottle in the aisle onto the floor before suddenly falling down himself. Whether it was or something else, the bizarre actions of these shoppers caught everyone completely off guard. Milk chaos outburst. A strange scene unfolded in a Walmart when a man suddenly jumped shirtless onto a table, holding a bottle of milk. He screamed loudly as he poured the entire bottle over himself, soaking his clothes and the table. Moments later, he slipped on the wet floor, but quickly got up and ran through the aisles, still screaming. Shoppers watched in shock, unable to process what they had just seen. It was a moment that felt completely unexplainable, leaving everyone who witnessed it questioning reality for a few seconds. Robotic street figures. A man walking down the street noticed something unusual in front of a building. Several people were standing silently in front of each window, completely still. Then, without warning, they began moving backward. Their motions were stiff and unnatural, almost robotic, as if someone else was controlling them. Could these people have been hypnotized? Or was something far stranger happening that day? Green alien struggle. On the subway, a man spotted someone dressed as a green alien, struggling to move a rod using only their hands and legs. The bizarre sight left him completely baffled. People around couldn't help but feel uncomfortable as they watched, wondering why anyone would behave this strangely in public transport. It was definitely not something you see every day. Airport suitcase smash. At the airport, a man completely lost his temper. He smashed the wheels off his suitcase before tossing it onto the weight machine. Passengers watched in shock as his frustration grew, especially when people around started calling him a madman. His outburst turned an ordinary airport scene into something totally chaotic and unforgettable. Zombie subway man. A man was spotted on the subway acting incredibly strange. His arms were stiff, his head moved in creepy, jerky motions, and his mouth stayed open as he made weird gestures, almost like a zombie. Just a few days later, he appeared in a restaurant, lying on the floor and trying to eat his food there. Even when staff told him to use a table, he continued behaving oddly, eating in a way no one could understand. People were left wondering, was he really just acting? Or something else entirely. Bloating possessed woman. A man spotted something unbelievable, a woman seemingly floating above the ground, held down by a few men struggling to control her. As he approached, they whispered that she was being possessed. Defying all laws of gravity, she hovered unnaturally, barely conscious yet completely out of control. Her friends tried to bring her down, but the sight was surreal. No one could explain it, and as she drifted there in the air, a chilling thought ran through everyone's mind. What was really controlling her? Blackeyed encounter. A man was walking alone at night when he spotted a woman standing silently on the side of the street. As he passed, her eyes locked onto his, and he couldn't look away. When he dared to glance back, his stomach dropped. Her face had gone pale, and her eyes looked pitch black. She didn't move like a normal person, almost like something else was controlling her. Everyone watching this would be asking the same thing. Was she really possessed, or something far stranger was happening? Coke street dance. On a busy street, a man was seen blasting music from his Bluetooth speaker while dancing wildly, holding a bottle of Coke in his hand. At one point, he placed the speaker on the ground and continued dancing freely, completely ignoring everyone around him. His carefree movements seemed unusual, almost like something was off. Passers-by couldn't help but watch in confusion, trying to figure out why he was acting so strangely in the middle of a normal street. Possessed vlog girl. A girl was filming a vlog for herself when something terrifying happened. She seemed to get possessed. Her voice became unnatural, almost like a demon speaking, and her eyes looked completely off. Her facial expressions were disturbing, and her movements on the street were eerily creepy. When her friends reviewed the footage later, they confirmed she wasn't under alcohol or drugs. Whatever took over her in that moment made her behave in a way no one could explain, leaving the footage chilling and unforgettable. Masked road lurker. A man was heading to get his car washed when he noticed something unsettling on the road. A woman in a creepy costume and eerie mask slowly approached his car. As he got closer, she bent in an unnatural, disturbing way and suddenly lunged at him. He managed to escape, but the clip ended with her standing there, motionless and staring. The chilling scene made everyone watching feel as if something unexplainable had just brushed past, lingering in the air. Motionless street boy. People walking down a busy street probably didn't expect to see this. In the middle of the crowd, one boy just froze completely, crossing his arms and staying motionless, while everyone else moved around him. Passers-by looked confused, some even stopping to check if he was okay. Was it just a bizarre coincidence, or was he possessed by something we'd never know? Twisting crawl struggle.
I never seen that. I'm going to go.
The moment this recording starts, you can tell something isn't right. A girl is seen on the ground, moving in ways that look painful and unnatural. Her body twists sharply as if she's struggling to lift herself up. Then things get even stranger when she turns toward a nearby window and tries to crawl inside. Her arms pull forward while her body bends at odd angles. There's no explanation, no follow-up. The clip just ends, leaving viewers frozen, replaying it, and questioning what they just witnessed. Creepy tree encounter.
Check this shit out. Look what I found.
What started as a normal walk beside a neighborhood park quickly became disturbing. A woman noticed a man standing alone under a tree, barely moving, yet something about him felt off. As she watched more closely, his arms were stretched out, and his fingers appeared unusually long, dark, and strangely shaped. When he slowly extended his arms even further, the movement didn't look natural at all. From her perspective, it seemed as if his body was changing. She later explained that she wasn't seeking attention and didn't even use social media. The video was recorded solely to warn people living near that park.
What the he doing out there? What the f is you doing out there?
Masked ritual gathering. This man had been testing his drone in an open field when the camera picked up something unexpected. Below, a group of people stood together, all dressed in black cloaks and wearing white masks. They appeared to be holding an object while chanting in unison. Moments later, they joined hands and began bowing to each other repeatedly, almost like part of a ritual. This went on for several minutes until they suddenly looked up at the drone. The person who seemed to be leading them made a strange hand gesture toward it. After that, the man claimed his drone stopped responding, leaving him confused and uneasy. Kanye lobotomy mystery. Fans claimed Kanye had disappeared for a while, but what really happened when the cameras went off remained unknown. A clip surfaced showing a man sitting dazed and confused on a park bench. Many insisted it was Kanye himself. His blank stare and odd haircut reminded viewers of old photos of patients who had undergone lobotomies. With the music industry's history of silencing outspoken artists, some began asking, was Kanye really canceled, or was something far more sinister happening behind the scenes? Backyard net crawl. This family security camera captured something truly strange. In their backyard, their broken basketball net had fallen to the ground. Later, their neighbor walked by, but instead of avoiding it, she crawled straight through the net as if it was the only path. Her movements were calm and deliberate, leaving the family stunned. It's hard to explain. Was this just an odd accident, or was something unexplainable at play that night? Mona Lisa attack. It was a shocking moment at the Louvre Museum in Paris when a man disguised as a woman appeared near the Mona Lisa. He entered the museum in a wheelchair, drawing no suspicion, but suddenly jumped up and threw a cake at the famous painting. Eyewitnesses watched in disbelief as he even tried to break the bulletproof glass protecting the artwork. Authorities later suggested he might be a climate activist, but his true intentions remain unclear. Was this just a bizarre stunt, or was there a deeper message hidden behind his actions? Silent white procession. A driver in Alberta, Canada, captured a moment that felt deeply unsettling. In the middle of an open field, a long line of people dressed entirely in white walked silently together. There was no sound, no signs of a nearby event, and no explanation for why they were there. Their movements were calm and perfectly aligned, almost ritual-like. The clip raised many theories, yet no official explanation ever followed. Who these people were and what they were doing in that field remains a mystery that still feels unanswered. Humans as dogs. It sounded unbelievable, but this scene was reportedly captured in 2025. A man was seen walking down the street holding two collars, not attached to animals, but to two grown humans disguised as dogs. They crawled along the pavement, moved on all fours, and behaved exactly like pets, even barking as people watched in shock. The man treated them as if this was completely normal. The footage left viewers disturbed and confused. Was this some form of performance, or did it reveal a side of human behavior that most people were never meant to see? Subway music freak. A man was sitting on the subway when he noticed someone in front of him acting strangely. The other man had headphones on and a skateboard under his feet, but what caught attention was his sudden screaming and odd gestures. It looked like he was completely lost in the music, maybe imagining himself in a music video or something. Watching someone act so intensely in public like this was definitely unexpected and left everyone around feeling a bit uneasy. Creepy road pursuit. A man with torn clothes and a long wig was spotted walking down the road, holding a stick. When a woman appeared in front of him, she got scared and quickly changed her path. But instead of stopping, he started chasing her, making the scene extremely creepy. Everyone nearby couldn't believe what they were witnessing. What would you do in this situation? Subway invisible argument. On the subway, a man was sitting with his knees tucked into his hoodie, angrily pointing at the door. He muttered to himself in a furious tone, as if speaking to someone invisible right in front of him.
Amène à ma destination.
Passengers behind him watched in confusion, unsure what was happening. His strange behavior made the whole carriage feel tense, leaving everyone wondering what could be going on. It was definitely not something you see every day on public transport.
Amène à ma destination.
Supermarket shaking attack. A security camera at the supermarket captured something truly shocking. A man approached the refrigerator and grabbed an item, but suddenly, his entire body began shaking uncontrollably. Staff watched cautiously, confused and alarmed. Moments later, he fainted on the floor, and inexplicably, several items on the aisle toppled over by themselves, as if moved by an invisible force. No one could explain what had just happened. Nighttime road ritual. On 4th June 2023, a group of friends were driving late at night when they noticed people in white clothes gathered at the side of the road, circling around something. Curious, they slowed down to take a closer look, but suddenly, the group began running toward their car. Heart racing, they sped away and eventually lost them in the darkness. Even after escaping, the friends couldn't shake the question that lingered. Who were those people? And what strange ritual had they been performing under the night sky? Plastic doll girl. At first glance, this looks like just another TikTok clip, but give it a few seconds. A strange-looking girl stares directly into the camera with an unsettling stillness. She speaks in a flat tone and suddenly says this.
I'm plastic.
She then continues with more chilling lines. What really throws people off are her slow, awkward smiles that don't match any normal emotion. Nothing else happens, yet viewers keep replaying it. The more you watch, the harder it is to look away. And that's exactly why this clip keeps people talking. Glowing corridor smile. This next clip was filmed inside a hostel corridor in India, and people still don't know what to make of it. A girl stands there completely still, while her friends beg her to come back to the room. She doesn't respond at all. Instead, she keeps this wide, unsettling smile on her face, her eyes faintly glowing in the low light. Then she starts laughing, but not in a normal way. The moment feels wrong. Once this video hit the internet, theories exploded, and the comments haven't stopped since. Dining room horror. This late-night CCTV footage is where things start to feel seriously off. A woman calmly walks into a dining room and sits at the table like she's done this before. She lowers her head slowly, almost as if she's following some kind of ritual. Then the chairs around her begin sliding back on their own. An object moves across the table, and suddenly, a door in the next room slams open and shut. What's chilling is that she never reacts. She just stares to the side, completely still, making the moment impossible to explain. Hospital hand movement. At first, this looks like a normal hospital room, nothing unusual at all. A doctor and a nurse stand nearby, quietly discussing the girl's condition, but then something strange happens. While they're turned away, the girl slowly lifts her hand and makes a disturbing motion toward the table. Neither of them notices it. They keep talking, completely unaware. When this footage later leaked online, viewers caught that moment instantly, replaying it again and again, arguing whether it was real, mist, or something much darker hiding in plain sight. Stage shove shock. A live broadcast took a shocking turn when a woman suddenly approached the stage and shoved the priest aside. What made it even creepier was her expression, completely blank, almost like she didn't realize what had just happened. She stood there motionless, showing no reaction at all. Thousands watched it happen live, unable to look away. After the footage went online, viewers couldn't stop replaying it, debating whether it was a random act or a glimpse of something far more disturbing. Dull shadow, intruder. The security camera didn't lie. Something truly strange happened that night. Two sisters had just popped into their house to grab clothes before a sleepover when a bizarre woman appeared, holding a doll and angrily warning them not to touch her things. Then, a dark, blurry shadow zipped through the hallway and into the yard, moving far faster than anything natural. The footage leaves viewers questioning what exactly was in the house that night. Funeral eyes open. During a funeral, a boy started recording, focusing on the casket. What he captured shocked everyone. Inside, the woman's eyes were wide open, staring straight at the camera. Then, almost unnaturally, her eyes slowly closed on their own. The clip is silent and still, and viewers couldn't stop watching. The moment fades without explanation, quietly holding a sense of mystery that lingers in the mind. Airport letter threat. At Denver Airport, a woman was caught on camera acting strangely while reading a letter she says she was forced to deliver. Her movements were jerky, her expressions unnerving, and her voice carried an odd, urgent tone. She claims the people behind it threatened her and her children if she didn't comply, warning of a future attack on U.S. soil worse than the 2001 incident. The footage spread quickly, and her creepy, unsettling behavior made the moment feel chilling and completely mysterious. Pale window stare. You've got to see this one. This guy was just staring at his window, like he couldn't believe what was happening. Pressed against the glass was a pale face, skin so washed out it barely looked human. Its eyes were fixed, cold and empty, never blinking once. He whispered nervously, pointing again and again at the glass, trying to make sense of it. Nothing moved. The face stayed completely still. But what was really out there, staring back at him?
I'm not seeing things, right? You see it, Corn?
Date gone wrong.
So long. It's
No,
like,
yeah, that's a great
so
spot.
good.
The evening started like any normal date, but it didn't stay that way for long. Midway through their conversation, her voice suddenly deepened, sounding strange and unfamiliar. Her eyes also shifted, losing the warmth they had just minutes before. Then, in a quiet, almost casual whisper, she said,
Yeah, I'm possessed.
The man froze, unsure what to do. Could she really be under some kind of control? Or was it all just an act? What do you think happened?
Yeah, I'm sorry, what is that you do?
Unnatural stage presence. While the show was airing live, several people were standing on stage as the host continued speaking to the audience. Standing beside him was a woman who quickly drew attention for the wrong reasons. Her eye movements looked sharp and unnatural, and her mouth twitched in a way that didn't match the moment. Viewers noticed how out of sync she appeared compared to everyone else on stage. The clip spread fast, with many questioning whether this was a real person at all. Some even wondered if she was a clone placed there without anyone noticing. Possessed. Restaurant chef. This kitchen security footage came from a well-known restaurant, and at first, everything seemed normal. A chef was going about his work like any other day. Then his body suddenly started jerking, shaking more violently with every second. When he looked up, his movements no longer seemed human. Could this really have been a case of possession, or is there some other explanation behind what we're seeing? Unsettling night smile. The security footage looked normal at first, just a quiet room late at night. But then, a woman appeared on camera, staring directly into the lens, with a smile that never faded. Minutes passed, and her head started twitching in sharp, unnatural motions. The room stayed perfectly still, which only made her movements feel stranger. By the time the clip ended, the scene had already carved a strange, unsettling mark that lingered in the mind. White-eyed stare. This clip starts with a man just standing there, completely still, and it's immediately creepy. His eyes are fully white, rolled upward, and his mouth hangs open in a frozen, unnatural expression. He doesn't move at all, but the way he holds himself makes it feel deliberate, like something is controlling him. The stare upward only adds to the unease. The short footage is haunting, and anyone watching can't shake the feeling that this man isn't really in control of himself. Shadowed room grin. Things were going smoothly during a casual live stream, when suddenly, the lights in a young woman's home went out. The screen dimmed, leaving her barely visible in the shadows. That's when things got unsettling. Her expression froze into a wide, unnatural smile that lingered far too long. Viewers flooded the chat, unsure if it was a prank or something far stranger. When the lights went out, her behavior shifted completely. Was it really a change in personality, or was something else happening in that room? Frozen paranormal friend. Things took a strange turn during this live stream. A girl was talking with her friend about paranormal topics when she noticed something was off. Her friend suddenly stopped reacting and just stared at her in a creepy, unfamiliar way. At first, she thought it was a prank and tried to move her, but there was no response at all. Panicked, she ran away from the room. Later, people online claimed the incident was linked to possession, making the clip even more disturbing. Flickering sister freeze. What started as a normal live stream quickly took a strange turn. A streamer was chatting with her audience while her younger sister sat behind her, focused on her phone. Suddenly, the lights began flickering, and her sister slowly bent forward in a stiff, unnatural way. Thinking it was a joke, the streamer walked over, waiting for a reaction, but there was none. She stayed completely still, hair covering her face, silent. The tension filled the stream, and many viewers later said it felt like something was very wrong. Mask reveal horror. From the very first frame, this clip grabs your attention for all the wrong reasons. The camera shows a figure wearing a pale, rubbery mask with wide, hollow eyes, staring straight ahead. There's no sound, no movement, just that eerie face filling the screen. Then, slowly, he reaches up and starts pulling the mask away. You'd expect a normal face underneath, but what appears is almost inhuman. And in just seconds, the scene goes from creepy to completely disturbing. Case of possession.
Hey, stop. Right now. Stop.
Friends didn't know what to do when one of their groups suddenly started acting strangely. They decided to call the police for help. As soon as the officers arrived, it was clear something was wrong. The man's eyes were vacant, and his movements were stiff and unnatural. While it didn't look like full possession, there were definitely signs of something sinister. His bizarre behavior left everyone on edge, and even the officer wasn't sure how to handle a situation this far from normal.
Hey, relax, relax. I'm not trying to fight you or anything, okay?
And now, let's move on to the subscriber's pick. This clip appeared online but was quickly taken down by the government just days later. In it, a man holds a microphone while a strange woman, or something that looks like a woman, is on the ground. Her appearance is deeply unsettling, almost not human, with bird-like legs and feathers covering her body. People are gathered around in the background as she screams, adding to the chaos. Whatever was happening, it was far from normal, and the scene leaves everyone questioning what exactly they just witnessed. With that, see you next time.